Hi, welcome to Jayan Healing. This is Deep Healing with Jayan, and on YouTube, this is Jayan Healing. Here we are. Today we're talking about how empaths can go to Walmart or Costco or the mall and not have this massive reaction and not have to spend hours afterwards kind of recovering from that experience because there's a lot of people, a lot of emotions flying around, all that craziness. So, before we get into that, I do want to let everybody know I'm really excited to announce that I'll be holding um, I have a course. It's kind of a course. It's a one-on-one healing sessions, like a set of them, and I'm going to teach you how to heal your own energy and your immediate family members, like your children or your spouse, um, and be able to work on that yourself so you're not going to energy healers or what have you all the time and spending all that money. So that's my new exciting thing coming up, and I am just so all I want is for people to realize I'm a regular person and you're a regular person, and anyone has access to this, but not everybody knows what to do. So that's all it's about is learning how to do this for yourself. All right, so let's talk about going to Walmart, going to the big box stores, going to a mall. I had thrown out a question on my Facebook group, and I was just wondering, like, what is it about these places that really are just unnerving? And am I the only one? And I got a wild response of like, no, you're not the only one. I have so much trouble going to a big box store or the mall, and here's why. Number one, there's tons of people there. I can hear everybody talking, whether it's their thoughts, emotions, or just the volume of noise. It's just really overwhelming. It's like going into a whitewater river and just like all over the place all the time. Two, and this one surprised me, but I shouldn't have, is the lighting. The lighting is energetically exhausting for a lot of people, and the flooring too. It's always like a really hard concrete floor, and so that's exhausting too. And I don't care who you are, whether you're an empath or not, that's going to be exhausting. Big box stores, especially, are designed to keep you in the store, right? And so they put two things that would be logical to be next to each other on the opposite ends because they want people to stay in the store. Like, how many times have you said, I'm going to pop over to Walmart really quick, and you were there for 3 hours? I hadn't been to Walmart for a very long time, and I went once after this long period of time, and I didn't know where everything was because they had changed it in the years that I hadn't been there. And I was it's a big store, so I'm going in circles trying to find this thing that I'm looking for. I don't even remember what it was. Going in circles trying to find this thing that I'm looking for, and I end up in the snack section somehow. And by that point, I've been there for 2 hours and I was starving. And I was like, oh, we'll take the chips, we'll take the cookies. Yeah, that sounds great. And then I ended up in the camping section and I was like, I should buy a tent. And then I ended up in the bedding section and I was like, I should just buy this bed in a bag because who doesn't need a bed in a bag? And by the time I left the store, it had been 3 hours and I meant to be there for 30 minutes. And I bought all this stuff that I didn't really need at the time. I mean, I used the tent, I used the bed in a bag, right? It wasn't a terrible purchase, but um, sitting on the floor at Walmart crying in the middle of the bedding section is really just not, wasn't my plan for that day, right? So, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who has cried in Walmart. So the flooring, the lighting, where everything is, um, and what else was there? Just all the people, all the people all at the same time. So a couple of years ago, I posted on Instagram a meme that was like people in like tyvek suits, and it was like empaths going to Walmart. Like that is exactly how it feels. Like I need something to protect me from this massive exhaustion that I feel every time I leave that store. Whether I'm there for 5 minutes or 3 hours, I'm still exhausted, right? So I have two short-term tips and sorry, the other way, four short-term tips and then two long-term tips for you if you're going into a big box store or one of those places that just gets you exhausted all the time. Oh, also, I feel like I'm always in the way. That's the other piece is as empaths, um, the inclination is to go, there's so many people, there's not enough space. I'm going to shrink and just try not to exist as much as possible, right? So when you're in one of those big box stores, there's so many people and you always just feel like you're in the way. I don't know if you, but I always feel like I'm in the way. And I hate feeling like I'm in the way because I feel like everyone hates me because I'm in the way, right? And they're probably feeling the same way, but in that moment, it's like all the spikes are directed at me and just like I need to not be in the way again, right? So I'm going to start with the four short-term ones. Okay. So number one, when before you go in, and you might already do this without knowing you're doing it. Number one, ground yourself, right? It's the idea of like, you just sit in the car and like, okay, I'm psyching myself up to go in. Right. So in addition to that, because that moment is very important. If you don't kind of like deal with all of that, you're not going to make it, right? So a good thing to do, like if it's the summer and you're wearing flip-flops, just kind of step out and you might not want to do this in a Walmart parking lot, but take your shoes off and put your feet on the ground. And it's important that your feet are on the ground because like, okay, I'm here, I am present and I know what I'm doing. Number two goes along with grounding. Get yourself a good stone. Okay, I'm not talking about sunstone. Don't use sunstone. If you're using sunstone for grounding, then you're just gonna okay. Sunstone is a stone that finds all those little spaces and places in your heart that are like darker, and not like you have dark spots, but just spots where you're just like unsure of yourself or upset. So anytime I wear sunstone, I just cry all the time. Anyways, don't do that one, but do something that is a grounding stone or something that increases boundaries. So obsidian's great. Obsidian's sometimes a little much for people, but obsidian's great. Amethyst is pretty much the boundary stone. Like if you have a problem with boundaries, like just always keep amethyst on you, paint yourself purple, right? Like just keep going with the amethyst. So amethyst is a good one. Quartz is a catch-all for literally everything. So if you have quartz, just pick it up. Um, Rose quartz might work because it activates the heart a lot. But the trouble with that is that you're activating the heart a lot. And so you might actually be increasing your empathic stuff. So it might make more sense to just go with the clear quartz and maybe even a smoky quartz. Like if you don't want people to really like notice you, smoky quartz is a good idea too. Um, and what do you do with them? Oh, I put them in my bra, but not everybody wears bras. So you can put them in your pocket. And yeah, pockets or bras. Those are probably the two secrets that I got there. You want it, or if you have it like on a necklace, like if you just want it close to you, you don't want it in a purse necessarily, because that's not really going to have the same effect on your energy. Um, but yeah, just like close to you. But for the lighting, I would highly recommend blue light glasses. I always have a pair, like they just look like regular glasses, but they're blue light glasses. So that might help with some of the craziness of going to those big box stores that have that lighting that bothers a lot of people. Fluorescent lighting is like really not great for the eyes, and it's really not great for the energy either. So that's a great way to kind of block that out so it's not such an immediate thing, right? And then number 4, have a list and know where you're going. Stick to your list. Get in, get your stuff done, and get out. Don't go wandering around because the other part for empaths is that it's not just the people that are talking to them emotionally. The stuff is designed to ask you to buy it. So if you walk by a whole lot of stuff that is like, hey, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. I want this. I want you to buy me, take me home. You will love it. That's what marketing is for, right? Like screaming at you, begging for you to buy this thing. Um, and packaging is designed to kind of trigger us to want to buy stuff. And so you also have to have like the stuff I don't want, the stuff I don't need isn't going to speak to me shield. So you just put up that shield, just be like, nope, that's not happening. I'm not here to meander. I'm here for specific items and specific stuff. Um, that's all well and good, but it's not, you'd have to remember to do those things every single time. And you may or may not, like, there may be a time where you need to meander. There may be a time where you forgot your blue light glasses or your stones. Um, so to protect yourself in the long term, the things that you want to do for sure is number one, remove the triggers. So the fewer triggers you have, the fewer things that you have going on within your energy, then the more you're going to be able to handle lots of different situations, regardless of what it is, whether it's Walmart or a backyard barbecue. So in general, if you have a lot of overwhelm anywhere, remove your triggers and it's just clearing, 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 right? That's what I do. That's what's good for all of us. And the more I clear, the better it is for you. And the more you clear, the better it is for your neighbors. And everybody builds on that because we're going to be responding with love and kindness instead of reactionary and anger and frustration. So the more you clear, the better you will react across the board. And you won't feel like you're just like melting because you've cleared and cleared and cleared. Number 2 is improve your boundaries. So the problem with empaths is that they have no boundaries, or they have very low boundaries, or they let other people control their lives because they don't want to have boundaries, and we have problems with the balance between enforcing boundaries and just being angry and all of that. So I've got tons and tons of videos and stuff on boundaries specifically, but number one importance is to recognize boundaries. So if you have boundaries, you'll feel like you're allowed to take up space and you don't feel like you're in the way all the time. And the lighting actually won't bother you as much because you don't have all this other stuff that's like encroaching on your space, and you feel okay with, I'm in the way. I'll be here for a second. I'm almost done. So there you have it. These are the things that you can do before you jump into Walmart or whatever big box store it is and come out feeling comfortable in your own skin. So we always have to close with a beautiful meditation to help us guide us on our journey and move forward in our lives. And we are already clearing. Remember, yawning is a sign of clearing. We get comfortable. So just put your feet on the floor. You can fold your hands or just put them in your lap. And you focus in on your heart, in your heart space, in the center of your heart, 2 inches inside your chest. And so we're just going to unlock our hearts. You might think of an animal or a baby, something that you love, something that melts your heart. And as you unlock your heart, you notice it begins to expand. It expands and shells, and make sure that it's also unlocked on the back because it seems like some people are going, okay, I can unlock my heart on the front, but my back's got to be protected from love, is essentially what that is. And we're just gonna, it's like there's a net around the whole ball, and when you unlocked it, it went like this, and it was like, no, but I'm just gonna keep this part of it. So we're just gonna take the net off entirely and just allowing your heart space to expand all around you. Beautiful. There you go. There you go. Okay, so the heart comes in waves, like shells. And as they expand, you have infinite number of shells inside going down, 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 down into the core. And so the core is just made up of just a lot of these shells. And as it expands, you see these shells kind of coming off in waves. And these shells expand all the way around you. You are inside of a bubble. And as the shells expand and expand and expand, each layer forms additional layers of protection around you. Each layer builds the outer membrane of protection all the way around you. And this bubble that you're inside is 3 feet above your head if you're standing up, 3 feet below your feet. And if you outstretch your arms, it's 3 feet from the tip of your middle fingers. It's a roomy bubble. It's spacious, but it's not vast and easy to get lost in. It's there and it walks around with you no matter what you do, no matter where you go. And so this bubble is a boundary. This is the space you're allowed to take up. And anything that is not serving you, that you're not holding on to, so we're just going to pretty much do a dust of the space. Anything that's not serving you can just leave. And the membrane is what's called a selectively permeable membrane, which means it chooses based on who you are, because it is you. It knows what's good for you and what's not good for you. And anything that is not serving you can just leave. Goodbye. And it goes. Let me just pause. Beautiful. Thank you for joining me today. And if you do want to learn how to heal yourself and your immediate family, that's what I'm here for. So have a great day. Please put your leg up and whatever else you want to, however else you want to connect. Thank you so much.